Let's go ahead and get this started today. Welcome, welcome. Get connected, motivation, meditation, inspiration. If it's not one of the three, I don't want it. Start getting our mentality into place, getting our ability, focusing on overcoming our challenges, putting ourselves in a place where we start our day, where we focus to the point where we utilize what we have inside. As we start to ask ourselves the questions that nobody else can. Is what I'm doing today, is it motivation? Is it meditation? Is it inspiration? If it's not one of the three, I don't want it. Start getting into that morning routine. Start getting into that ability inside of yourself where you're writing stuff down, where you're utilizing mentality, where you're utilizing your ability inside of who you are, where you start to vibrate with an ability to overcome challenges. And so, how do you start creating a practice? How do you start to put yourself in a place where you start to allow yourself to overcome your challenges? And what does it take to get there? Those are some of the questions that we're going to ask today. We're going to ask ourselves, what do we want to do? What do we want to become? What do we want to overcome? Possibly you might be going through something today. You might be going through some challenges. You might be in a place where your mentality needs to open up. What does it take for you to get there? How are you going to achieve it? So let's start asking those kinds of questions. Let's start getting into that kind of mentality where what we're going through, we achieve, we overcome. Let's go ahead and start building a community, getting connections going, getting the ability inside of ourselves to believe in who we are and that we can achieve what we want to achieve. And what is that you want to achieve? What is it that you want to overcome? What is it that the challenges that you face off against on a daily basis is stopping you from your ability to focus? And so, are you using the tools that you have? Are you using the gifts that you have inside of yourself? So, as we go through that, we want to visit it. We want to visit the mentality. We want to visit the ability inside of ourselves to start to put ourselves in a place where we focus, where we start to have an ability to wake up and get this day going in such a way that the mentality starts to open up. And each of us has challenges. We have things that we look to work through and we have things to work on. And it's when we look inside of ourselves, it's when we look at our abilities that we start to believe in ourselves that we can achieve dreams. And it's when we're sitting down and we're communicating at a level where we understand that the reflection radiates that as well too. So I would like to bring you closer to your mentality, bring you closer to your ability, and for a minute, just plead a case with you. Are you in a place where you would like your energy to start flowing? Where you would like the environment around you to start to open up? Where you would like the ability inside of yourselves to become your mentality? So, how do we start doing that? How do we start asking ourselves those kind of questions where we give ourselves the ability to overcome our challenges? We look inside of ourselves instead of other people. And it's when we do that for ourselves, when we give ourselves that place where we focus to the point where we believe in who we are, that we start to recognize that we need a foundation. We need a part of ourselves where we believe in ourselves. And a lot of people have had that taken from them. A lot of people have been put in places where they don't put positivity as a foundation. They don't put positivity as the ability to overcome their challenges. And the questions we should ask ourselves is why? Why are they not giving themselves that ability? Why are they not sitting down at that level? Why are they not allowing that foundation to be built? So let me go ahead and start pleading this case on how we can start building a foundation. If you give yourself just a little bit of time each day, it starts to add up. In most months, there's 30 days, 31 days, 29 days. If you give yourself yet an hour a day, you've put more than 20 hours into yourself. But yet you'll go to work for somebody else. You'll go get a paycheck from somebody else. And then you neglect yourselves. You neglect your abilities. You neglect your dreams. You neglect your manifestations. So, are you working on yourself on a daily? Are you giving yourself that place? Are you giving yourself that kind of permission to sit down and start putting that 30 hours into you? Start putting that 40 hours into you. Start putting that 50 to where other people start putting their time into you. So, how do we start getting there to where we utilize that level? How do we start to manifest from within our being, within our own purpose, within our own journey? So, are you putting things down on paper? Are you writing things down? Are you seeing vision boards in front of yourself? Are you seeing the challenges that you face off against? Are you seeing the vibrations that you have inside of yourselves, that you can believe in who you are, that you can believe that you can do this, that you can achieve this, you can become that kind of light? So, how do we do it? How do we sit down at that level? Well, I asked myself that question a long time ago. When we start to look at the ability to sit down inside of ourselves, realistically, what we're looking to do is study ourselves. We're looking to achieve our dreams and our goals. That what we put down on paper we can overcome, that we can achieve, that what we write out, what we organize, how we organize ourselves, how we become timely and mentally aware is what it's about. Are you waking up on a daily with a set of tasks that you set in front of yourself to achieve? That you put in front of yourself in such a way that you can know that this is what I'm doing today. First off, first thing I do is pay yourself first. Pay yourself first and allow that to open you up. Pay yourself first and allow that to be a part of your being. Let it be a part of your purpose. Let the reasons, the rituals, the ways in which you wake up be a part of who you are. Are we doing that? Are we giving ourselves that place? And sometimes it's not easy. Things start to test you. They start to ask you, is this what you truly want? Is this who you truly want to become? Is this what you want to manifest? Do you ask yourself those types of questions? Ask yourself how you can use your challenges to your advantage. How you can use your mentality to overcome things that other people would call impossible. Because aren't you an impossible thing just to begin with, right? Your life is special. You are a being. You have a purpose. You have a path. And so, as we focus to that level, we got to start looking at what we put in our ways, what we put in our abilities, what we put in our vibrations. And each of us have those. We have those kinds of challenges. We have those kinds of understandings, those kinds of reflections, those kinds of beings that are wanting to be present in your universe. When do you create your reflection? When do people ask the question, is what I'm doing today motivation, meditation, or inspiration? Because if it's not one of the three, I don't want it. Are we getting on that page together? Connect with the network. Subscribe to the communities. Motivation, meditation, inspiration. Facebook, YouTube, Periscope, Twitter, and podcasts across Spotify and others. Google, this is a reflection, as well as my personal website, motivationmeditationinspiration.yoga. Here are the daily devotionals, the daily commitment, the daily mentality. Ask yourself the question. Challenge yourself to the ability to listen to it daily Ask yourself if it starts to change things around you. Because you're not the one who changes. The things around you changes. You are always going to be you, no matter how fast or how slow things happen around you. You're going to always face off against challenges. It's always going to be about what you let into your mentality. It's always going to be what you let into your ability. It's always going to be what you're facing off against today, tomorrow, next week, next month, next year. And it's always going to be that you're going to face off against challenges. So are you embracing them? Are you truly finding the positivity inside of yourself, inside of your ability, inside of your mentality, and that you have what it takes to overcome your challenges? See, a lot of people stop themselves from that place. Why? Didn't you learn? Did you go to school? Did you spend time writing? Did you spend time speaking? Did you spend time reading out loud, writing, learning art, learning music? What do you use? What is it that you use on a daily basis that you can focus into, that can create a foundation inside of yourself, that can create an ability inside of yourself, that can ask you the question, not you ask the question. Am I reflecting from my level of focus to where other people see me as a reflection of motivation? When we sit down at that level where we grind, where we truly put ourselves in a place where we use what we have inside, where we use our challenges to that level, to where the being vibrates, to where the purpose vibrates, to where the challenges that you face off against, you have the ability to overcome. So how do we do it? How do we achieve it? How do we start to find the way to that 1% mentality, to that 1% ability where you believe in yourselves, where you believe in your being, where you start to believe in your purpose, in your art form, in your level of grind inside of yourself, to where you start to achieve your dreams, where things start to become possible, where you believe in yourself. It's when you sit down and you start to focus. It's when you sit down and you use that place where you are, not where somebody else is. It's right where you are. And that's when the universe starts throwing things your way that are positive. When you're willing to be nothing more, nothing less than yourself, that's when you start to become victorious. That's when things start to happen in your life. That's when the Most High God starts to bless you. He starts to bring things in such a way that you can believe in yourself, that you can believe in your dreams, that you can believe in your manifestation. So what is it that you vibrate into? What is it that you vibrate on? What is it that you vibrate? Are you vibrating in a positive direction? Are you listening to things that are bringing you closer to yourself, closer to your being, closer to your manifestation? How do you focus to that level? How do you achieve that a level? I'm going to tell you some ways too. When you're writing stuff down, when you have it in front of you, write down everything. Isn't your story worth it? Isn't your path worth it? Isn't your journey worth writing down and keeping the tale of you? Keeping the journal of you, keeping the challenges and the ability for you to believe in yourself, believe in your being, believe in your purpose. See, each of us has challenges. Each of us has things that we're looking to work on, that we're looking to work through. And each of us deserves challenges, Because if we didn't have challenges, we wouldn't have the ability to overcome them. It's when we learn from them, truly sit down and study them, truly sit down and study the parts of them that we're looking to make it through, that we overcome them. And are you seeing that inside of yourselves? Are you seeing that inside of your being? Are you seeing that inside of your purpose? That your journey is to study you, is to truly sit down and to start to put these things in order that help you to be who you want to be, who you want to achieve, the dreams that you want to overcome, the manifestation that you want to use. And it's when we focus to that level where we utilize that part of ourselves, where we utilize that part of our ability, that we start to recognize that our mentality is important. That what you focus into, you get to achieve. What you focus into, you get to manifest. What you focus into, you get to overcome. And each of us goes through challenges at that level. We go through challenges that are asking us, is this what we truly want? Is this what we want to achieve? Is this what dreams we want to overcome? And I've started to recognize that the vibration of your mentality matters. Your actual literal vibration, your literal ability to focus into the things that you want to achieve matters as much as them being achieved. And when we're sitting down on that level of joy inside of ourselves, when we're sitting down on that level of grind, when we're sitting down on that level of purpose, when we're sitting on that level of, can I see this happen? It's the before that matters. When you achieve it, it's easy. When you achieve it, it's in front of you. It's where your mentality is the nights when you're shaking. It's where your mentality is the nights when you don't know if you can do it, if you can become it. It's where your mentality is when you're sitting down going through challenges and you don't know a way up. It's when you're face down and you don't see a way up and you say to yourself, if there's not a way, I'm going to make a way. And that's what that question we got to ask ourselves on a daily basis. Where are we vibrating? What are we vibrating into? What are we manifesting? What are we working through on a daily? What are we grinding on that we want to become, that we want to light up, that we want to achieve within ourselves? Are we focused to that level where we create that kind of foundation to where the dreams inside of ourselves become possible? Because I'm telling you, if you work at things just a little bit each day, just a little bit of mentality, just a little bit of ability, they will open up to you. They will open the doors. The right times, they will come. The abilities inside will find their way to you. And if you're hearing this message, and you might be on the downside right now, just remember, just take a baby steps, one step at a time. When a lake or a river is filled with water, it takes one raindrop at a time to fill it. So are you filling your being with your purpose? Are you filling your being with your journey? Are you enjoying your journey? Are you enjoying your path? When you're given this profession or this job or this ability inside of yourself, or the ability to be in front of a camera, for instance, are you taking that opportunity? Are you taking that ability to utilize the gifts that you have? Are you putting your whole into it? Are you putting your being into a place where you utilize what you have inside of who you are? You believe in yourself. You believe in your abilities to overcome your challenges. And we focus to that point, my friends. When you focus to that point, when you connect with this network, motivation, meditation, inspiration, on all of the different networks, connect, subscribe, hit those like buttons, hear these messages daily, because they're there for you. They're there for you to gain that place where you might just get that little head up, where you might just start to believe in yourselves. You might just start to see the things around you happening for you. You might just be able to see the person that you are inside and start to have just a little bit of belief in yourself, just a little bit of belief in your abilities, just a little bit of belief in your mentalities, that you might just have an able mind, an able ability, that those things that might have disabled you in the past, they don't have the ability to disable you, that you can see past those challenges, that you can let those things that aren't you out of the way on their own. When we focus to that point, when we gain that level of understanding, things start to happen around you. People don't see you the same. They see you as a blessing in this world. They see the light shining out of you. They see that ability for you to achieve your dreams, your goals, your manifestation. So do we focus to that level where we want to achieve it, where we want to become it, where what we speak, listen, and hear is all a part of our vibration? And it's when you put yourself in that kind of a place where you find the beauty inside of yourselves, where you find the beauty inside of your being, when you find the beauty inside of your purpose, that things start to happen around you. And when people don't recognize you for that, that's a blessing, my friends. It means that you are truly being yourself. It means that you're truly being who you are on the inside. It means that you're breaking through things that other people thought and didn't see you could make it to. When is that starting to become a part of your focus? When is that starting to become a part of your vibration? When is that starting to become a part of your very essence? See, each of us has a spirit. That essence in itself is special, because when you focus to that point where the universe uses you as that gift, you as that tool, you as that ability inside of yourself, it's that essence that is the difference. It's that part of who you are. It is that part of that level of focus that opens up you to opportunities, opens up you to the ability, opens up you to be the tool within the universe. And it's on a daily that we seek that kind of light. It's on a daily that we seek that part of ourselves. So are we focusing at that level where that becomes possible, where that becomes a part of our being, becomes part of our purpose, becomes a part of our path? And how do we gain access to that vibration? In our mentality, my friends. When you're focusing to the point where nobody else can go, when you can't see a way and you make a way, when that becomes possible within yourself, when you start to believe in yourself, when others would just want you to fail, when others would just want to say, you can't do this, and you start to believe in yourself that you can. It's when you're focusing to the point where nobody else has the ability to go, that nobody else can achieve what you can achieve. When you believe at that level in yourself, when you believe at that level within your being, within your vibration, that is when the universe says, hey, come on, let's see if you can do this. Hey, sure, I'm going to give you a shot. I'm going to give you a chance. And that's when you apply it at a level where you utilize that, where it becomes a vibration, where the manifestation within starts to open up. And it's on that kind of daily grind where you use that part of who you are that shows what you're made of. It's when you're exhausted and you sleep for 3 hours and you get up and you go work to have to come back to work again. It's when you don't know it's possible that it becomes possible, my friends. Where failures become successes. Where you focus to the point where you achieve your dreams. And it's at a point where you go beyond focus to the point where the inner essence starts to open up, that the victories start to happen. It's when focus is beyond focus. Ask yourself that. Are you doing that in your professions? Are you doing that in your relationships? Are you doing that in your homes? Are you getting to that place where your very being focuses to the point where there is only one way, and that is that you're going to succeed? See, I've heard people say, I don't know how to become motivated. I've heard them say, I just can't become motivated. Then I ask them the question, what do you focus into? And they say, focus? What's that? See, when you're down, when everything is working against you, when all your challenges are working against you, and you're looking for a way up, that's when the foundation starts. It's when you put yourself in a place where you utilize that part of who you are. That's how people start to know you. They start to see your gifts. They start to see your talents. They start to see your ability. And it's with that place of focus that the utilization inside of who you are starts to open up. And I see people who hear these messages, hear these kind of things that I had to go through to be right where I am today. I see them hearing these messages, and I see those things happening in their lives. I see those things happening for them. I see those things happening inside them, my friends. See, I learned to study. I learned to sit in front of a computer and read about the index from Chrysler's sales. That if you write stuff down, then the ability to become organized happens. The ability for the opportunity to open up for you happens. And that when you do that for yourself, the universe kicks into action. The universe starts to ask you the question, starts to throw the test in front of you, starts to throw the equations. And when you work through the equations, when you become more organized, when you become more timely, when you become more focused, when you do things like make your beds, so you have the ability to have a plan for the day, when you do that for yourself, when you see into the future, in your being, in your vibration, starts to open up towards that path. It starts to find its own way. It starts to find its own angle. It starts to find its manifestation inside of who you are. And you see, as we grind at that level of vibration, as we give ourselves that part of who we are, the gifts inside of you start to open up. The believing in yourself starts to open up. The ability inside of yourself starts to say, maybe I just want to have an able mentality. It isn't about somebody else. So, may I plead a case focus to the point where you're a reflection of motivation. Let's get down with that grind. Let's get into that inwards journey. Let's start getting down with what goes on inside of ourselves, what goes on inside of our purpose, our path, our journey. Where are you on your journey? What is it that you ask yourself on a daily? Are you able to study yourself? Are you able to sit down inside of who you are? Are you able to get down to the person inside of yourself to where the student inside starts to open up? And this next part is about meditation. It's about getting the energy to the place where you start to apply it, where you start to become putty to your world, where you apply your mentality, where you start to get inwards, where what you're going through on the outside doesn't have the ability anymore to stop you, doesn't have the ability anymore to hold you back from your pains, your fears, and your emotions, where that student starts to open up inside of who you are, where you start to truly be centered inside of yourself, where what you're going through no longer has the ability to affect your student inside of you, where you start to learn the lessons that you need to learn in your life, that you got to go through for yourself, that only you can do, that only you can achieve, that only you can manifest. And as the crowds see that, as the connection builds, as the networks open up, as the mentality starts to open up, are you going inwards? Are you gaining that part inside of who you are, where you give yourself the permission to be who you are on the inside? See, this is what I'm talking about. A lot of people hold themselves back from becoming that student of their lives. And that's what this is about. It's about getting inwards to that point where you're actually spending the time moving in a direction closer to yourself, learning from yourself, learning from the energy inside of who you are, that you can do it, that you can truly achieve it, that you can truly manifest it. And it's inside that we do it. It's inside of ourselves that we're looking to be. It's inside of ourselves that we're looking to overcome our challenges from. So how do we do it? How do we start to believe in ourselves? How do we start to gain access to the knowledge inside of who we are? And it's inside of oneself that you start to see that much farther. It's inside of oneself that you start to believe in yourself and your abilities and in your mentality. So, are you doing that for you? Are you sitting down and wanting to become a student inside of yourself? You can connect with the network: Motivation, Meditation, Inspiration, Discipline 101, YouTube, Facebook, Periscope, Twitter. I'm out there for your mentality, my friends. I'm out there for your ability, for you to believe in yourselves, to achieve your dreams, to achieve your abilities, to understand your energy, to let your energy be in motion, to let your energy flow, let your energy grow. And it's inside of ourselves that we utilize it. It's inside of ourselves that we start to overcome the challenges that we face off against. Are we focused to that point where we're utilizing it, where we truly are utilizing our mentalities? See, when you focus past your challenges, when you focus to the point where you start to believe in yourselves, when you gain that level of knowledge to where you're willing to be a student inside of yourself, that's where the teacher, my friend, meets the student inside the classroom. of you. When you start to become centered, you'll be surprised in the things that you can achieve. When you start to gain from access to learn from yourselves, to do things like read, to do things like write, to do things like speak, to do things like overcome challenges. It's at that point where we start to believe in ourselves that the knowledge inside starts to hold value. It's when you see past the pains, the fears, and the emotions with the impurity of the energy inside of yourself that the access to overcome it starts to become possible. So, are you doing that for you? Are you becoming the person that you are inside for yourself? Are you becoming the person inside within your mentality, within your ability, within your energy to become a student in your life, to utilize your life as lessons, as goals, as a purpose, as your path? Are we doing that for ourselves? And it's when everything is not working for you and you're at that point inside of who you are where you learn the biggest lessons, the greatest stories, the greatest path is in front of you. It's when you gain access to that knowledge that's decompressed within yourself. It's when you give yourself just a little bit of time each day to study you, to be the student inside of you, to gain and access the knowledge which is infinite within the universe, that it starts to open up. And we each deserve that. You deserve to learn from yourself, no matter the challenges you might go through today, tomorrow, next week, no matter the things that you might be facing off against or working through or going through. There's knowledge behind them, my friends. There's liberation within oneself. There's liberation within one's being. There's liberation within one's purpose. And we each are seeking out that kind of light inside of ourselves. We're seeking out that place to where we utilize what we have inside. So, what does it take to get there? I mean, come on. Do you see it? Do you see this kind of a journey? Do you see this kind of a path? Do you see this kind of a purpose? Are we focusing to that point where knowledge becomes accessible to ourselves, where we start to gain an understanding of the beauty that's already within, the beauty that's already on your path, it's already on your purpose? So, where are you inside? Where are you inside of your connection with you? Are you in a place where other people recognize you as a reflection of meditation? Ask yourself this question. I can't for you. Only you can. Only you can possibly sit down and hear what I'm saying and be uplifted. Because I know when I was going through those challenges, I was going through those places, I was putting myself in a place where the mentality needed to open up, it was on that page that I recognized. When we focus to that point where knowledge becomes accessible, then it's time to become centered within oneself. And how do we start to do that? How do we start taking our focus and our knowledge? How do we start taking that and connecting it in such a way that we believe in ourselves, that we believe in our energy, that we believe in our journeys? It's when we become that kind of place inside of ourselves where we utilize it at that level, where we utilize it at the place where focus and knowledge becomes centered. When you're using yourself and your challenges and you're overcoming them and you're believing in who you are on the inside, that you start to open up to the world. It's when the world starts to see you as a light, starts to see you in such a way that others believe in themselves because they become inspired by your level of discipline, by your level of being. We see this in the professions. We see this in every trade across the face of the planet. Those people that utilize their focus and their knowledge, at a certain point the universe has a yield, has an ability for that to open up to the point where they become a reflection of inspiration. And we need that on the face of the planet. The universe can utilize that. It can utilize you as an inspiration. And it comes from your place of discipline. It comes when you're truly being yourself, when you're truly sitting down inside of who you are, when you're truly utilizing your ability, your mentality. It's when you're focused to the point where you're going to achieve things that other people called impossible because you're not willing to give up, because you're so disciplined that the ability inside of yourself has the ability to open up. We can all do that. We can all achieve that. It's inside of ourselves to want to. It's inside of the ways you wake up, what you put in your system, what you focus on, and what you work with. And it's inside of our grind, really. You know what you're working at. You know what you're working on. You know what you're putting your focus, your knowledge, your being into. And when we do that for ourselves, when we do that within who we are, we give ourselves that place, my friends. We give ourselves that vibration to where the universe can use you to uplift other people. When you do that for other people, when you become your whole being within you, when you utilize all your challenges and your vibration and your mentality and your being and your purpose and your path and your journey, what radiates outwards, my friends, is inspiration. When you become that in this world, other people become uplifted. Their challenges become lighter. Their being starts to open up. Their path starts to have a purpose. Their journey starts to have a place. And it's for you to see inside of yourselves this. It's for you to see inside of your being the ability to overcome it. And it's worth it, my friends. To embrace yourself to the point where you start to believe in yourself, where you start to believe in your abilities. You start to believe in your manifestation. That is what it's about. So are we asking ourselves those types of questions? And how does it feel to become inspired? Ask yourself, when you're inspired by other people, what is it that they're doing? How do they become an inspiration to you? Was it because they put their mentality in place? Was it because they put their ability in place? Was it because they put their vibration in place? How? What? What did it take for them to? What made them so much greater than you? And you will find every time it's what they focus into, and it's what they focus on. Are we focused to that point? Where we utilize what we have inside of ourselves, what we utilize inside of our mentality, inside of our ability, inside of our beings, inside of our paths, our journeys. That you can light up this world, that you can light up the night, that you're shining stars out there, that I don't know who might have told you in the past it's not possible, but when you sit down with yourself, the only one you're facing off against is you. When you sit down inside of your being, when you sit down inside of that purpose, when you sit down inside of that part of your journey, where you have what it takes inside of you, when you start to see those kind of blessings open up, it's when you believe in yourselves, my friends. It's when you believe that you have what it takes. So how do we do it? How do we achieve it? How do we manifest that person inside? How do we get to that place where what we have going on, we start to overcome? Where we start to become an inspiration? Where we start to overcome the challenges inside of ourselves? Where what we focus into, we achieve. Where what we focus into, we dream. Where what we focus into, we overcome. So are we doing that? Are we truly getting down to that level inside of ourselves, inside of our beings, inside of our vibrations, inside of our mentalities and our focuses? I want you to believe in yourselves, that you can achieve dreams, you can achieve abilities, you can achieve things that nobody ever thought was possible. What a blessing it is that we have challenges so we can overcome them. I want you to see yourselves as a reflection of inspiration. As I close, I just want to say, is what you're doing today, is it motivation? Is it meditation? Is it inspiration? Because if it's not one of the three, I don't want it. As I close, I just want to say blessings, blessings, blessings. As always, namaste.